Well, stories keep on coming, and I get the pleasure of keep on telling them. And today's story is going to be super fun because I'm hanging out with a good old friend of mine, an old coworker of mine, Justin Driscoll from Tech Elevator. I don't see Justin much these days, and when I do, I always get excited because Justin's always one of my favorite people to hang out with. That's why I absolutely love doing our Summer of 50 PGH Tech Stories with Comcast because I get to connect with old people like Justin Driscoll. I say old people, old friends. Like
Old.
Justin's not that old. He's just
Old friends.
Old to me. You're old to me, Justin. Old friends, exactly. So Justin, thanks for taking the time to be part of our show today. So glad to have you with us, man.
Thanks, Jonathan. Always a pleasure to see you. Always good to catch up. So thanks for having me again. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, I got the news from you guys. You put a little news release out talking about Tech Elevator committing about $1 million towards some scholarship programs to really increase diversity throughout the Tech Elevator program to get more people on board to get the skills that they need to become, tech employees, to be part of the wave that's bringing us forward, man. I think that was just so cool.
Yeah, it's exciting. It really is. I mean, Tech Elevator has been around since 2015 now, and we have known there's an issue in tech. We've known that we wanted to do something. We've known that we have the ability as an organization to help contribute to the solution to diversify tech and provide opportunities for more people who are underrepresented in tech currently. And so just recently now we've launched this Represent Tech Scholarship. And as an organization, we've committed to over $1 million to increase diversity in tech. We have in every market that we're in across the country, we're representing.
Like 7 of them now too, right? I mean, you guys are growing like crazy.
Yep. So every market will have one student per cohort. So three students per year per market at a minimum to begin. We wanted to start somewhere, and so this is kind of our first. This is kind of our first attempt at that. And so, it really lines up well with our mission, right? Our mission is we elevate people, companies, and communities. And so here we are, we've seen, a great diversity of people come through the program. Has not been nearly diverse enough, which is one of the attempts of why we're doing this to try to help increase those numbers. But,
Definitely.
As an organization, we've always believed that, cognitive ability is definitely distributed evenly amongst the general population, but certainly opportunity has not been. And so in order to keep elevating our mission and emphasizing our mission by elevating people, we wanted to give people who haven't historically had the opportunity to do something like Tech Elevator. We thought this scholarship would be a great start and hopefully be a great opportunity for somebody who has always had the cognitive ability but hasn't always had the full opportunity to do this. So
Justin, was it the COVID, the pandemic that kind of brought this to the forefront? Because for a lot of folks, the pandemic really started to make the inequities just really apparent. Was it that, or were you guys thinking about this before this thing even struck us 4 months ago?
I mean, I think it's kind of a combination of everything. I mean, we certainly have been talking. We've had analysts working. We've had projects over time to try to come up with solutions to how to increase our diversity and inclusion numbers and opportunities for all people. And I think COVID and the racial injustice that has happened recently and the protests and the movement that's been happening in America recently has certainly all kind of come to a head. And, I think the timing, is good to kind of really get the message out there that Tech Elevator supports diversity and inclusion. And this scholarship is really just the first step for us to move down this road to give people who have that cognitive ability and desire and passion to do this, to give them the opportunity as well.
I mean, $1 million, that's a big step, dude. I like that. I mean, that's literally putting your money where your mouth is on stuff like this. And so when does this actually kick off? Is this the next set of cohorts that are going to be firing up?
Yeah. So we'll have our next set of cohorts launches September 14th across all of our markets. And so that'll be the first, we'll see 6 campuses. So Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Philadelphia, and our live remote. So seven students this upcoming fall will be our first recipient of this scholarship. And so it's an 85% scholarship. They'll still have 15% of an obligation to cover and their enrollment in the enrollment fee, but they have to go through the process just like every other student.
You got to make sure you got the cognition to handle it. Because I know tech elevator is intense, man. It's like boot camp. People cry sometimes. It's so intense. I can't handle all the coding.
It's intense. I mean, it's one of those things like,
give me 20 lines, Justin.
I do tell them in the interview, your body may change during tech elevator, but probably not in a good way. It's not like the military where you're going to lean up and get stronger physically. But we always kind of joke about that the boot camp is mentally taxing, challenging. You have to really want it to go from no technical experience to a entry level software developer in 14 weeks. We've seen it done over 1,000 times now across all of our markets, but it is not for the faint at heart. It really
I love it, man. No, it shows you got to have commitment to this because literally you're cramming probably what would normally, I think in the old days, probably, I bet you it's like 2 or 3 years worth of education probably being crammed into 14 weeks. So it's intense.
Yes. Yeah. Intense is definitely, I've heard it described. It's like drinking through a fire hose of information for 14 weeks because it's continually new information every single day.
Coming at you.
But those students that come and have done their research and have talked with alumni who have been successful in our program and companies that have hired students throughout, from the cohorts, we want them to come, right? We want them to do their research. We want them to come into this eyes wide open to make sure that they know what they're getting into. And if they follow that process, there's, we've seen a really good percentage of people get jobs. There's never a guarantee in life.
But what's your typical success rate like these days? I know it's been really great.
Yeah, I mean, pre-COVID, right? Our new numbers won't come out until after
pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID, it's been 94% placement rate across all of our campuses.
That's amazing.
In fact, I'm wearing the shirt right now that shows we celebrated our 1,000 placement.
Oh, that's awesome.
So 1,000 people. Now it's more than that, but a couple of months ago, we had celebrated our 1,000 person.
That's a lot of people in the workforce that normally would not be in this workforce. That is just amazing.
Yeah, I think that's why, with this Represent Tech Scholarship, we want as many people as possible who are motivated and driven to do this, to have the opportunity to come to Tech Elevator. And for some, the tuition can be a challenge, or their life circumstances. I mean, everybody has to kind of put things in motion in order to be able to come and do this. But we're hoping that this is one barrier that might be able to be lowered for some people, but with this scholarship, if they are, properly motivated to do this, and hopefully this financial barrier will be lowered and they'll be able to do it. So we're excited for, the thing that motivates people that work at Tech Elevator is the fact that those individual stories that we can point to of how people's lives were changed. And so I can't wait for the end of 2020 to be able to point to that one person in the Pittsburgh market and say that person received the scholarship, and they would have never been able to come had they not received the scholarship.
That's so cool, man. So tell me, how has COVID impacted how you've been putting on your cohorts? Obviously, they're all remote right now. How's that been working? I feel like this is a good platform to go remote if it had to.
Yeah, well, we're using Zoom. We're using Zoom to do this. We're using Zoom in our classes. So whatever of online learning, throw that right out the window. That's not what we're doing. So we're doing live remote teaching every single day for 3 hours a day still. So if someone were to come to the Tech Elevator Pittsburgh campus and attend classes when we were allowed to do that, they would receive 3 hours of instruction every day from our instructors. They're getting that now online, but they're doing it remotely. And so they're still lecturing. Our instructors are still lecturing for 3 hours a day. All of our pathway sessions, all of our meetings with our employers, all of our career development work that is happening throughout the afternoons is all being done on Zoom, Google Hangouts. We use a tool which is really cool. I encourage your viewers to Google it, called Sococo, Socco, Sococo. One of our instructors here in Pittsburgh, Beth, had used this at a prior employer, And it's been great to be able to replicate a classroom environment or an office environment. You have a little avatar and you move them from room to
Nice.
room, and
Okay.
you can launch Zoom meetings right away. You can join study groups and launch, you know, you can
Wow.
share screens, and it's a pretty cool tool. And so I would, that's been great. Also, like I said, Zoom and Google Hangouts, and everybody else is remote, Jonathan. So it hasn't been as big of a leap as you would think. And the most important thing is that people are still getting jobs. You know, while people are getting jobs slower than normal, they're getting jobs in all of our markets here in Pittsburgh included. And, you know, it's been exciting to be able to see people start remote, interview remote, never meet someone face to face, and land that job.
And then they'll start their job remote too.
Yeah, that's right. We'll mail you a laptop. We don't want you coming in. And it's working. You know, I wouldn't say it's optimal by any stretch of the imagination,
right?
but it's working.
Absolutely, that's what it's about right now. It's getting through this until we can, you know, get to this new level of what we'll call normal, I suppose. But I just love through all of this, the Tech Elevator has stepped up and they're committing $1 million. That's just a start to get more diversity into your cohorts and get more people, you know, into these tech skills and get them the jobs that are really moving everybody forward, Justin. I love it, man. It's such a cool story. That's why I'm so glad Tech Elevators in Pittsburgh. That's why I'm glad you're leading Tech Elevator, because when you left the Tech Council, I was upset, but I was happy for you because I knew you'd be the guy to do some successful things over there. And that's what you're proving right now, Justin. So all the way around, good work.
Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, it's always good to hang out with you. And you're still continuing to be the voice of the tech sector in Pittsburgh, which I'm glad for that.
I'll try my best. I try my best, and I can't do it without the help from Comcast, allowing me to tell our 50 summer stories of Pittsburgh tech, Justin. We got like another 35 to go, dude. It's going to be fun.
Wow.
Absolutely, man. It's going to be good. Thanks for hanging out with us, Justin. I do appreciate it.
Thanks, Jonathan. See ya.